Mindanao Daily, Mindanao Daily, Mindanao Daily.
Watch us anytime, anywhere. Pwede nimo makita sa digital o papel. Mga balita na masaligan para sa katawan. Serbisyo publiko, aksyon, edukasyon sa tanan.
Sita na mo bay, diri sa may syudad. Makasin natin yung inamigong may paglugad. Laag divisoria, uban ng higala. Ay nakatingala, tsada ni diri.
Mindanao Daily.
Kumuha kayo na ano. Okay. Sige.
Welcome our televiewers, our listeners, our followers of this weekly variety features program of ours. And I wish to inform you all that with us today, not with us in our studio today, is our main host, Dr. Manny Haujan, is the president of the Cagayan Press Club, because he is en route to Manila, stopping by Dipolog and other cities on our continuing mission of covering the pandemic crisis. And at this point in time, he will be covering also updates on the COVID-19 vaccinations of the various local government units, cities, and municipalities as he goes along to his travel up to Manila and back to Mindanao. So this episode, we are also glad to have a very well-known personality from Zamboanga Peninsula. He will be properly introduced later, but by our main host, Dr. Manny Haujan. So at this point in time, we wish to inform you that this program, this Variety Features program, has been going on for almost 2 months now, and we tackle subjects, various subjects and topics on politics, economy, business, tourism, governance, and other topics, media ethics. We have it all. So please welcome to our weekly features program. This is Alan Medianti, the co-host, with my main host who is now in Dipolog City.
Maniaw dyan. Good afternoon. Salamat, Editor Alan. With the advent of technology, muning nakakagayan di oro, ang atong bisita today, ni Ami karon sa Dapitan.
Dapitan City, okay.
Of course, Dapitan is famous kay namdong ka Editor Alan.
Yeah.
Nga dinhi usab gi-excite ang atong pambansang hero.
Ang dakilang playboy.
Si Dr. Jose
Rizal, yeah.
But Dapitan is almost forgotten.
Yes.
Until Fantasyland give again or revive the tourist destination.
Yeah.
And this is through the effort of our friend many years back.
Yeah.
And talking of naging assemblyman, kongresista, si Romy Jalosjos. But now we're not having si Romy, but the good son. I understand. Well, it doesn't necessarily follow that there is a bad son. So today, sa atong televiewers sa Jaw TV, sa digital TV diya sa Cagayan de Oro, on live sadta, sa Jade Cable, sa DRBC sa Bukidnon,
YouTube,
o sa Mindanao Daily News Digital,
yes,
o sa atong Jaw TV _official. O today, ang atong bisita, ang kanhi gobernador sa usa sa mga lalawigan. Ato siyang dili ta sa moisgot kung sa iyang mga political plans, di ba, Editor Alan?
Dr. Manny, can I butt in?
Yes,
Si Governor Romel was our awardee sa Governance and Leadership Awards. And the family's business, the Kak Resort, has been one of our first awardees of our Mindanao Business Leaders and Entrepreneur Awards. So we can talk with him anything from tourism to politics, economy, or whatnot. Okay.
Oo, tama na Editor Alan. That's why earlier this morning, while we are arranging our travel pass, kasi nagkalisod na ning panahon, ang atong kalibutan mas lisod. It's now even tougher to cross
Oh,
to Dumaguete, ha?
oh my God.
And because of this, to me, rigmarole, so to speak, no, in the process. But we are hoping that before the end of the day or before 3 o'clock, we'll be able to take our bites. Anyway, ang atong bisita, si Sir Romel Jalosjos. And we
Welcome,
would like,
Governor
yes,
Romel.
welcome, Sir Romel. Ang ating tanong ngayon, pwedeng magbisaya pa, saksinagol kay Kalandrakas magkini.
Kalandrakas.
Do you, what is, of course, unsa imong nakita sa kondisyon sa turismo niining gatubang gyapon kita sa COVID,
Yeah.
Sir Romel?
Labi na ang ilang kwan po, kana ilang dakak resorts, panta sila. Kumusta?
Well, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, Sir Manny, Sir Alan. Salamat sa opportunity na maka-address ko sa inyong mga viewers.
Good afternoon po.
It's been a long time since nakita tayo. Of course, the COVID is really lisod kayo mag-travel between borders karon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, since you know, si Sir Manny din, biktima din yan ngayon sa lockdown. Pasensya na, even yung powers ko hindi kaya.
Hindi kaya.
Tawag ka na ako sa LG na makatabang pero wala lisod kayo dito sa stricto talaga sa Dumaguete. So for now ang sitwasyon dito sa Kapitan, I can only speak for Dapitan, is of course lisod kayo ang sitwasyon. As you know, we have our own businesses here, the Park Beach Resort, Villa Angelina, which is the new additional part of Dakak. It's a more upgraded, luxurious lifestyle. Upper end siya, and as well as Gloria Fantasyland, the Disneyland of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And our restaurants here. Ako, I'm dealing with Gloria's Fantasyland with all the restaurants and all the outlets dito. We feel the drastic effect talaga of the COVID. For the last two years now we had to subsidize, of course, the operations here. It's not the same. It's not as like before. Na thriving kami. Karon is about survival, and for how long we don't know. That's why we live each day, every day as it comes. Hindi na kami, we can plan, pero sometimes iba na naman yung classifications. Isang unsa lang ang pinapagbigay sa amin dito. We just need to adjust. And
Are there still
sometimes,
tourists, sir? Are there still tourists, local or foreign, coming to your resorts and to your other parks?
Increments lang, mga gamay, parang timok-timok ra.
Timo.
So little bits lang, pero it's not as like before.
Yeah.
Sorry, yung Bisaya ko is not very good, pero I'm trying naman, pero yan, we have local tourists naman, sulod sila din pero yung mga taga Manila, taga Cebu, ug Dumaguete, halos wala na And it's sad to say that we have so many destinations here that are so beautiful na even our own Filipinos, our own countrymen has not seen yet. Mas lisod na karon na with the COVID crisis now, they're all stuck in their homes, and for me it's a little bit unhealthy because you can't move around. But again, the pandemic is there. I believe in the pandemic. People say the COVID is nothing, but no talaga ang COVID because I was one of the victims of COVID last year, and I'm a survivor of COVID. And I'm telling the viewers now, 100% talaga tinuod siya. Naka-ICU nga ako pero I survived that. So yeah.
But Sir Romel, meaning in terms, you've been in, your family has been in this business for quite a long time.
Yes.
Do you think maka-revive pa kaya in a general term, meaning on the tourism industry?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, I believe that. I have to believe that because our businesses and our investments are talagang tourism-based kami. And we have to believe that no matter what. That's why we have different promos. We have to bite the bullet. If we have to just to keep it, just breaking even, then why not? Because at the end of the day, we employ over 2,000 people. Dakak, Angelina, and GFL. We're now a skeletal staff kami. We're doing all the means necessary for us to survive. And that's why hopefully yung mga power co-ops like Zaneco and water districts mga bank loans namin. We are talking to them to defer some of the payments muna, just for us to survive, because at the end of the day, people still have to eat eh. Ikaw wala'y trabaho, wala magastos. Then, wala.
But from your end, because I noticed kaganina Editor Alan,
Yeah.
si
Opo.
Sir Romel nag-meet pa siya sa iyang mga workers.
Mm.
Well, I understand that some establishments nga atong naikot sa buong bansa,
Mm.
they closed down, and
Close down, yeah.
this also caused unemployment.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in his case, I saw some, kanina nakita na ko mga workers are still there. May I know from your end if the DACAC or your company or the family of Jalosjos company from DACAC down to Fantasyland, have you cut cost by terminating people?
No, we don't terminate people. We try not to terminate people. We
Okay.
try to give them a lifestyle instead of a job.
Mm.
So it's an investment. We're asking for their investment, not in monetary. Invest it in a way na mag-commit muna sila, maningkamot muna tayo karon. Because for how many years we sustained their lifestyle, this is now the company asking for their sacrifice as well. Now for us, for not an individual selfish gain, it's for the whole group. Pasabot naman sila. I asked everyone kanina with my workers, I asked them, put your hand up kung mag-give up na tayo. Not one of them put their hand up. They know this is a fight that we have to do together. I can only do so much as an individual, and my family can only do so much to keep us alive and keep us running. Pero it boils down to our employees. Eh. They're the ones who have to invest as well. So at the end of the day, we're trying to do schemes where no work, no pay. So ang roster nila maging instead of a 5-day week becomes a 4-day week or a 3-day week for at the custos. At the same time, we're subsidizing yung mga magbibigay kami ng bigas, mga ayuda-ayuda sa individuals namin. Especially yung theme park namin karon. Ang theme park talaga 100% dili pwede. So that's why they have about 800 to 900 employees sa theme park mismo na zero talaga income nila karon. That's why yung mga restaurants ko, the other outlets na pwede mag-operate, yung ganansya namin, binabalik namin sa ibang empleyado na walay trabaho. Konting tiis lang kami lahat. As long as we meet the bare minimum lang, makabuhi pa din sila, walay problema. And they understand naman yan. They understand. Yung mga pasaway, they can terminated or but we don't try to terminate people. We try to look for means and ways paano namin sila ibubuhi. Even if we have to invest personally. Like my sweldo. My sweldo at the end of the month is already, I gave it back to the people na yung mga trabahante na 1,000 a month sila, naging 1,000 na lang. Tapos 3 days a week lang sila, kaluoy man sila. For 1,000 pesos in a month, anong magagawa doon, di ba? So yung sweldo ko, binigay ko lang sa kanila para subsidize naman siya. Kung kailangan kong pera, mangutang lang ko kay daddy ko.
But sa tingin mo, what are your experiences na aside agtong touch di mga it's about time that we also give in something to help kung mapadayon ang livelihood. What are imong mga experiences in keeping your company, the tourism driven companies?
Opo.
How?
Well, of course, LGU, the government has to at least help us out, subsidizing or even promoting us, looking at the guidelines of the IATF as well, and look at the true figures of infection comparative to other places. You can't amass everything. Some parts of the Philippines are zero infection. Some parts of the Philippines are high. So you just adapt to your environment, and you should be adaptable there. You shouldn't be blaming industries for the infection. At the end of the day, we should all work together, and the businesses here must comply to the minimum standards. Wag tigas ng ulo. Yan ang problema natin sometimes, disiplina eh.
Are you going
Go ahead.
to what? Allow all your employees because other countries now they are back to their own business because vaccine sila. Do you think the city of Dapitan and the company where you are located will be supporting like the vaccination program of the government?
Well, for me as an individual, everyone has a right naman to choose.
Okay,
That's
yes,
one
yes.
thing. That's the one thing that I need to fight because of the fact that the right to choose. It's unconstitutional for us to be forced into something that we don't want to do. Like for me, for
Okay.
example, I have my personal issues and my personal comments about the vaccine. For me, it's not really a complete study on the vaccine that it's one of the it's a cure. Like
Yeah.
the flu vaccine took 10 years to develop. But the COVID, I'm still skeptical about the COVID. Yes, I'm a COVID victim, but I know for a fact that the virus or the vacuna is only been developed within 12 months lang eh. Hindi pa siya tested eh.
So you are
Pero
saying that optional, meaning
yes,
everybody, kung gusto siya magpa-vaccine, kami ni Editor Alan, na
Bakyan na.
vaccine naman it should not be compulsory.
yeah, it shouldn't be, and we shouldn't discriminate against people that have been vaccinated or haven't vaccinated. We have our own choice. We have our own right to choose, diba?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, for me,
Pero sa company mo ngayon, yung minimum protocol na lang, public
minimum
health.
protocol, opo. Minimum protocol, constant monitoring. You know, it's a lot more exhausting when it comes to finances and resources namin for us to have extra people just to comply with the minimum standards. Plus, individuals have to buy their own mask. Wala nang shield karon, thank God. But everyone has a responsibility. You can't just give it all to the government. Eh. Everyone is responsible for their own actions. That's
Yeah.
sometimes we're losing that. Eh. Sometimes we blame
No.
the wrong agencies. Eh. Like the
Yeah.
government, we blame them, but it's not their fault. Sometimes it's our fault, the individual, because we don't want to change, di ba?
Yes.
So,
That's why magtanong ako sa iyo, sa experience ninyo, even in hotels, no?
opo.
Na ba yung mga, kasi ang dapitan good Editor Alan is coastal, no? Makita niyo, no? Na ba yung mga study o science-based na kining mga resort or beach resorts?
Yeah.
Ang taas ba ang infection rate?
Lagi, ano why? Because it's an open space.
We'll ask
Yeah.
our guest, Sir
Yes.
Romy.
There's no studies to support that. It's all
Yeah, but
speculation.
from your correct. Pero from your company, na ba yung mga COVID sa imong mga empleyado?
Yes,
Empleyado?
definitely we have. We have COVID asymptomatic. Like for me, it's just my opinion, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is only my opinion.
Yes.
Prior to the vaccine program in the Philippines, I can only speak for the Pitan. The infection rate was actually minimal, zero na. Gamay lang ang infection rate. As soon as the vaccination program kicked in, tumaas, nag-spike ang infection rate natin. Pero asymptomatic sila. Pero I don't have the numbers yet at the moment, pero you know, we're looking into that, investigating the numbers. Like Gwen Garcia ngayon, she's putting a stance on. So I salute her. Na she has the resources naman to look into that, and she's really looking after her constituents because economically we can't do this all for the rest of our lives because wala mangyari sa ekonomiya natin eh. Dapat balansin natin siya. So we look at we have to itemize or even just we have to to look for solutions for different areas. Dapat be
It
subjective
should
to
not, correct. Ang you're saying, kung anong effective dito, yun ang i-apply sa iba. But
Amen.
hindi kailangan na parang straight jacket approach, no?
Amen to that.
But,
yes, sir.
Yes, Editor Alan, may pangutana ka?
Yeah, sa sitwasyon karon Gob sa Zamboanga del Norte or the Zamboanga Peninsula. How ilan na ba mataas ba ang percentage ng nabakunahan na or kulang pa?
Kulang pa po. Hindi pa kami nakuha ng yung herd was the
Herd
herd
immunity.
immunity wala pa. We're so far away from that because
So,
of the
Yeah.
The supply.
Ang problema nasa supply po ng vaccine.
Opo.
Okay. So, are the local officials doing something following up the national government para sa
Oh yes. I can only speak for the
additional.
Pitan. Alam
Yes.
ko the Pitan is very vigilant in that because comparative to our other surrounding municipalities, prior to the vaccination, we've kept the infection rate very low.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, narinig ko because I'm part of the COVID task force team. I'm representing the private sector. Before the vaccination, zero na infection rate namin. To one
Bakit
or
kaya
two lang.
tumaas?
And
Bakit
then,
kaya tumaas when the vaccination started? Yeah.
Like the scientists, I cannot comment on that.
Uh-huh.
But I think with common sense, we know, you invite a foreign body into the human, you know, biometrics of the person. Of course, it's going to
Ganun din
fight
kami dito sa Cagayan de Oro sa Occidental. Kung noong
Oh.
wala pa yung vaccine, mababa yung cases. Ngayon, tumaas yung cases
Tumataas.
nang magsimula ng mga
Oh,
vaccinations.
You look at the
President Manny, anong
But-
komentaryo?
But sir, well, as I've said, kining issues sa vaccine, very contentious issues, no? Kay kanilang daan atong kauban nga si GC, gusto hadlok siya kay mga COVID, kung kita nga nga vaccine, basig mga zombie kita. Mismo kini akong kauban, nga mahadlok niya nga zombie, pero yung nako nga di bali, kung masumbi kita kay na-vaccine na ba kita, Editor Alan, at least siya mo sulat, siyang report nga nga zombie kita. Pero si Sir Romel Moraga, well, we have basis, no? Science-based tells us nga ang vaccine, mga 2 years to 10 years man ang iyang examination niya na ang iyang effect. Pero mula gina, we are in a public emergency, but just the same, we can go or pro and cons about the vaccine. But I'd like to ask Sir Romel, do you think, meaning what are his thoughts? Kung paano
President
natin
Manny, Yeah.
yes,
before
not the vaccine, ha?
yeah, before Governor Romel
Mag-advertise ata.
mag-break sa muna tayo yung ating
But
commercial
as I've
break.
said,
Yeah.
after the break,
Explanation.
muni atong topic,
Yeah.
before the break, ang atong ipangunta na kang Sir Romel, unsa iyang paglantaw ani nga matabangan nato ang in tourism industry.
Yeah.
Do you think we need a new president? No, we need to tayo pa man. Do you think we have to just replace some public officials because election is forthcoming? Or from that perspective, I'd like to ask from him, based on his experience,
Yeah.
do you think we can come up with some initiatives on how to revive our already crippled economy? When we come back, kaya manginabuhi sa ta sa
Yes.
atong mga advertisers, Editor Alan.
Yes, we'll have a commercial break po.
Mahirap ang question mo, Sir Manny.
So, commercial.
tayo o hadlang para sa mga mahal ko sa buhay.
Ito ang paggarantisa na tuloy ang aral, trabaho at negosyo para sa lahat.
Ito ang pagkalinga sa kabataan upang mapagpatuloy nila ang pag-abot sa mga pangarap. Magbago man ang panahon, hahanap tayo ng pagkakataon.
Pagbuhos ito ng alaga at atensyon sa mga lugar na kailangan ng tulong at suporta.
Ito yung patuloy na paghanap ng paraan at paggawa ng diskarte para sa kabubuti ng lahat.
Pagiging pamilya siya sa mga taong pinakamalapit at malapit sa iyo.
Pagiging nanay ko ito sa mga tinuturing ko na ding mga anak.
Sa bawat luto at hain ko, nasasabi ko nandito ako para sa kanila.
Bilang panganay, likas na sa akin ang pagiging maalaga, kaya manong na rin ang tawag nila sa akin dito.
Part ito ng pagiging world class, ngayong Global Filipino Talent, hindi lang para sa iba, pero para sa atin din.
Ito ang paghatid ng ginhawa at aruga sa mga taong may mahal din sa buhay tulad ko.
Abilidad itong makita ang sarili sa gitna ng lahat at masabing nasa tamang lugar ako at ginagawa ko ang lahat.
Ito ang diwa ng Ayala. Ang pangakong walang kinikilalang layo o hadlang. Ang pagmamalasakit sa pamilya, sa komunidad, at sa bayan. Ang pagtanaw at paglikha ng oportunidad para sa lahat. Noon hanggang ngayon, ito ang aming tugon. Sa panahon ngayon, ano na nga ba ang pangako?
Ito ang walang kinikilalang layo o
Okay, welcome back to our continuation. President Manny, take it away. Okay, welcome back to our program, Kalandrakas, with Dr. Manny Haujan, President of the Kalandrakas Press Club, as our main host. He's now in Dipolog City with our special guest, former Governor Romy Jalosjos of Zamboanga, Sibukay.
Yes. Yes, ang atong gibilin nga pangutana to editoralan. Katong unsay ikaambit ni share ni si Romel on how do we somehow buhion ang atong turismo sa atong nasod.
Okay, uban ng mga nasod, balik na.
No comment.
Wala pa kayo ma-share nga.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, at the moment, I think I believe that the national government is doing something about it. Right? There's a lot of information dissemination and Zoom meetings with the DOT. I know for a fact a few weeks ago nag-Zoom meeting lahat ang mga stakeholders dito sa Mindanao when it comes to the tourism industry. Pero there's already plans involved. I don't know the plans yet. Pero ako, I'm trying to minimize my exposure when it comes to national issues because that's the big issue eh. Ako dito ko ground level muna ako. Whatever I can do here. But at the end of the day, it's about the consolidation with government and private citizens and citizens themselves. Ako, I believe in going local eh. Start supporting your local backyard muna. Let's support our local backyard for the economy to start growing again. And hopefully some of the industries that we need to build, like the agriculture industry, kinahanglan jud na ma-involve na naman ang mga LGUs natin to make it stronger. So for us to have food security as well. Because ito nangyari na pandemic, I have a lot of restaurants. Tumataas na ng presyo ng baboy, tumataas din ang manok at saka yung mga gulay natin. So kinahanglan jud na we should have a point that the government can subsidize that para hindi umaakyat din ang presyo ng mga basic goods natin dito sa lugar natin. Because for that end of the day, magugutom din ng mga tao because hindi sila maka-afford. The nutrition ng mga tao babagsak. So meaning a lot more people are all prone to diseases, more infection because wala na silang lakas to fight all those ailments outside, hindi lang COVID. nakakalimutan din natin yung ibang mga ailments natin ngayon, ng existing sickness natin. So, COVID is a number one issue at the moment, pero the health and safety of the individual as a citizen, dapat i-address din siya. Hindi lang sa one-sided na COVID lang tayo.
Yes.
Nandiyan na yung COVID di ba? Nandiyan na yung COVID, so we're learning to live with that. Pero nakakalimutan din natin yung ibang mga ailments na infectious ng mga dengue natin, mga swine flu, mga iba-ibang mga ailments.
HIV, patuloy pa rin. Kahit ang flu, patuloy pa rin.
Yeah, tuloy pa rin. And sometimes ma-misinterpret din yan, ay basta may sipon ka na, ay COVID na yan. So we have to start, ang problema dito, the biggest problem is the information dissemination. The information given to the public, what do they believe? And at the same time, the public don't believe everything you read or hear. You have the responsibility then to do your own research. So you can develop your own opinion. For some people, alam naman natin, favorite pastime ng Pilipino, chismis.
Chismis.
Matuwa tayo sa mga chismis. Oy, tinuod ba? Pero walang basis siya. So matuwa sila, and then at the end of the day, it becomes a big lie. And then at the end of the day, it's an uphill battle to correct it. So ngayon, with the technology we have, now you have information at the press of a button, be responsible din ang mga tao. Di lang ibigay lang sa gobyerno or sa individuals na may kaya, na kinahanglan jud mag-research din sila. Wag tamad, para they should know the real deal of what's happening, and they can adapt naman eh. So it's up to us now, mga LGU din, to distribute the right information. Diba? So,
Yes.
lang. Then we adapt to that eh. The more information we receive, sigurado mag-a-adapt naman tayo eh. Diba?
Okay, now, do you think meaning COVID will continue sa mga studies sana, dili man ni sayon mawala. So and then paabot apit na sa taga-eleksyon. So lisod siguro ni ang mga panahon sa mag-filing na karong first week of October. Having been ikaw, Sir Romel, we've been in that government service. Do you think this COVID-19 will also be in the coming elections?
Oh yes, definitely will be a hindrance. It'll be a hindrance because we have to, I don't know if it's going to be a blessing or a disaster, we don't know. Because hindi pa tayo, it's the first time we're doing this eh. Of course, elections always going to be controversial, no matter normal situation or abnormal situation. But mas lisod karon because we're open to we're open for scrutiny karon.
Yes.
So I cannot comment if it's going to be a good or a bad thing until we get there. It depends on the national government how they're going to execute the next election. Is it going to be fair? Is it there's too many loopholes or daming mga loose ends? Or are we going to go through with the election? We don't know. So ako, where I stand with politics at the moment, of course, we come from a political family, but as an individual, I'm a businessman now. But again, our businesses are in jeopardy then, and whoever sits as president, whoever sits as congressman, or even the provincial governor, we're feeling that now. So for me, I cannot comment at the moment, but alam ko talaga it's going to affect the next outcome of the election. Even the mga lihok-lihok natin na will be minimized. Yeah. I'm scared for the country, to be honest.
Oh, yes. Editor Alan?
Yeah.
Editor?
Yes, Governor.
Sir.
At this point in time po ng sitwasyon ng ating pandemic, how do you assess the real sentiments of the people? Are they still believing what the government is doing? Do they still have high regards? At least in your communities, how do you assess the pulse of the people with regards to the governance of the present administration, sir?
Oh well, I believe that they're contented. They're not happy, but they're contented because of the fact that it's a different administration. Our president, to his capabilities, is doing a great job. I believe I've lived overseas before. I lived in Australia, and I've gone through a lot of administrations na before. And of course, for us to eradicate some of the old practices, you need a controversial president with passion.
Yes.
And nakikita naman natin ang presidente natin with passion talaga.
Mhm.
And he's sincere. I believe he's sincere. How controversial he is, but he's sincere. That's the most thing that I love about our president, is sincerity.
His
With the
sincerity.
people,
Yeah.
for me, I'm contented. I'm
Mhm.
happy with him.
Mhm.
The people, I cannot speak for the people myself, but I only look after my own backyard. Pero with his ratings, nakikita naman sa ratings niya, he's very popular, hindi naman bumabagsak. So he's doing something right. He's doing something right and supportive. It's the first time I'm very vocal about my personal personal opinion with the president.
Yeah.
Before, I have very diplomatic answers with our past presidents.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. I don't mind telling my own personal views. Na I don't expect everyone to follow me. Pero ako, ay, love ko talaga si Presidente. Walang problema.
As you said that you are into a business now, do you think the kind of leadership of President Duterte is needed in order to, we're about 6 years now. Do you think that kind of leadership is needed in a business climate?
Yes. Yes, I do. Why? Because he's stamping out the corruption. He's trying his best. He's only an individual, one person. And alam naman, there's people around him, there's other people around him that are not for his agenda. But I believe with this kind of, definitely, first you have to look after your own backyard first. You have to look after your own product before you start selling it outside. Yes, may be controversial sa international scene. It's hoarding off different investors, but how many years ang mga investors pumapasok dito taking advantage of the Philippines and the structure that they have? They're capitalizing on the backs and the sweat of the Filipino people. He's just trying to eradicate that kind of exploitation sa mga tao natin. Why are we still exporting our skilled workers outside of the Philippines while we can take care of our own country by re-education, retooling, making industry strong for us to be viable for the international world? Why are we making payaman pa sa ibang bansa? Payaman na muna natin ang bansa natin. And I believe that the president is doing that. But hindi mangyayari yan overnight. It will happen, but he's starting that already. And he's good for business, I believe.
So, the president's term will be ending next year.
Yes, sir.
So from a Mindanaoan like me, what do you think should be? I mean, it's just your opinion on how do we need somebody with the same character of President Digong Duterte to continue, or do we need somehow somebody who is a basketball player, meaning he plays both teams, including the referee? So what do you think? Give me your thoughts on this, Romy. Because you said that you have stayed also for quite some time in Australia.
Yeah.
Australia is a parliament form. What ikaw sa tingin mo, we can blend the two systems? No?
Well, my opinion is, okay, as a ex-governor sa Bongo Sibugay, ang problema dito tao eh. It's not about administration. Administration is only for me, this is for my own opinion. Ang government is supposed to be assisting the people. If you want change, you change yourself muna eh. Ikaw mauuna dyan eh. No matter what is instilled by the government. If you want change, we have to adapt to change sometimes eh. I know for me, it's hypocritical for me because ayoko magbakuna. Pero, all those things na ibibigay sa gobyerno, if it's going to affect your lives, at different layers for the future, pick your leader. Pick your leader of what they can do for you, not how much they can give you. Diba? At the end of the day, we're subjected to that eh. Ano makukuha ko sa'yo? Like, monetary. It's not about monetary. It's about what can our leader do? Does he care? May care factor ba siya? Meron naman eh. And I believe that his governance should continue because you can't gauge his success in 6 years. Wala eh. It's too soon. It's too premature. I believe he should continue. He should continue his administration or the style of administration. Pero adapting to the current environment. Hindi tayo mag-adapt like, for example, 10 years ago. We can't adapt what we adapted 10 years ago. So now, we have to adjust. We have to adjust as technology gets bigger and accessible. We should start adapting to that. Controversial ang mga religion. Yeah, we still can practice religion, pero kailangan, up to date tayo, how we express the information and how we lihok around. And, you can't gauge the success of our president now in 6 years. Kinahanglan pa mga 10 to 20 years pa makikita natin yan. Because we have 120 million people in the Philippines na at the end of the day, hindi naman sila 100% mag-adapt, di ba? So kinahanglan jud another generation to implement that. So I believe that he's on the right track. For me, he's on the right track. And we need someone similar. Not the same, but similar to his administration that had the same heart muna. Because for how many decades na walang puso ang presidente? I'm sorry to say. Karon lang, nakikita ko na may puso. Nag-check kasing-kasing.
Okay, Editor Alan, doon na kayo kadugang ng pangutana?
Yeah, that's just like Gob. That's just like saying that or telling our kababayans that, hey, if you want a good leader, do not sell your vote. Di ba, Governor?
Yes, correct.
Yun ang pinakamasamang practice ng mga Pilipinos. Simula pa, tagal na kung malaki ang binibigay, yun ay boboto nila.
Well, sorry to say, the most purest form of democracy is your vote.
Yes.
And for you to sell your vote is already hypocritical when you say you want freedom.
Yeah.
Diba? If you want freedom, if you want the right of choice, you want your human rights, then you show your vote.
Not selling it.
Not selling your vote, because selling your vote is like if you receive something on one day, you can spend that money in one day.
One day.
Sino mga giganansya lang dyan, mga negosyante. Maging milyonaryo sila, di ba? At the end of the day, if bibigay ka, bigyan ka, kunin mo. Pero your vote should not be for sale.
Yes.
Your vote should be, look, ano bang gagawin mo? Ito, dalawang mayor ka, dalawang kandidato. You have the right to tell them or ask them, what can you do for me in the next 3 years?
Yes.
What can you do? If you're beneficial to me and my family in the next 3 years, sige. If you divide 1,000 pesos in 3 years, magkano mo lang yan per day yan? Diba? Centavos lang yan. Pero a 3-year administration yan.
Yeah.
If you pick the right leader, malaking ganansya yan sa inyong individual. Healthcare, education, all these things is available. Sa Australia nga, minumura namin yung mga member of parliament. Makikita namin sa kalsada. Kung di kami if we're not happy with them, pinapa-resign namin sila. No, minumura namin sila. You're not doing a good job. As individuals, as Filipinos, we should start practicing that. We should have our own voice. We should have our own choice, not influenced by money. At the end of the day, mabablind lang tayo. Hindi naman tayo bobo. Our race is very smart. Abtik man tayo tanan. Bakit tayo number 1 export natin ang OFWs natin? Because the world likes us. Comparative to other races, mas gwapo tayo, mas abtik tayo, di ba? Mas educated pa tayo. Bakit nagiging bobo na lang tayo sa eleksyon?
Tsaka meron pang isang hindi magandang ugali natin na nakikita ko noon pa. Yung sobrang loyalty mo sa isang politiko na kahit buhay mo, susugal mo, papatay ka. Bakit? Kasi gusto mo pag nanalo siya, meron kang siguradong pwesto sa gobyerno or magkakaroon ka ng hanap buhay. Which is just like selling your conscience.
Correct. But again, for me, dapat yung governance at the same time, we should have developed industries sa own backyard natin para may trabaho.
Yes.
Wag tayo mag-asa sa JO.
Yun.
Wag tayo mag-asa sa mga pwesto. Diba? Ang job order na yan. Pero it helped a lot of people, pero na-abuse siya
Na-abuse.
Diba? So, it opens for scrutiny. Why not invest in investors to come here,
Yes.
put an industry together, provide jobs, provide careers,
Yeah.
kesa magpunta sila sa Manila o Dumaguete o sa Cebu.
Oh.
Pag-congest lang ang capital cities natin, we have enough islands, 7,000 plus islands for us to create an industry. Kinahanglan dyan ng ano lang, coordination with LGU, coordination with local government, private sector, and of course, ang academe natin. Because it comes down to our academics eh. Teachers should be paid more. I believe so.
Tama yan.
Because without teachers, wala tayo sa posisyon.
Kasi
So,
you cannot deny the fact na noon may mga pangyayari na mga teachers na instance may mga iko na po. Mga ganun.
Correct.
Minsan may lokohan sa
Hindi yan
balota.
mawawala eh. Hindi mawawala yan. At the end of the day, hindi mawawala yan.
Pagbasa
Because
ng balota.
because ayaw natin mawala siya.
Okay,
Kasalanan din tayo yan.
Yeah.
President Man.
Yes, Editor Alan, pagkatanong ako, because si Sir Romel, somehow in the business sector, pero for some time, nag-join siya sa public sector.
Yeah.
Do you think kani mga sa iyang una-una, no? Because ang Jalosjos has been also in politics for quite some time now, and still active. Do you think incentives, kasi yun ang sabi niya, we attract investors. Do you think itong mga tax breaks or tax incentives for enterprise, for something new, pioneer ka na industry, para mabuhay ka naman. Like karon, everybody is down. Then ang taxes, di ba? Matod pa nila, there are only two things in life na certain. Death and taxes. So, I'd like to know from him, what do you think? In order to spur or revive our economy, is it a time that under COVID conditions we give some tax incentives for those labor-intensive, like kanang hindi man lugar kay self-serving, like kanang theme park, labor-intensive yun eh. So, dapat may mga tax breaks tayo para naman mabuhi ang uban. Di ba? Ang Pilipinas is a consumer-driven country. Any idea, sir, on that matter?
Yes, definitely, sir. I believe that the government is giving incentives now. Even prior to COVID, we have PEZA, the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, being implemented. May TEZA. We're applying for TEZA here sa Dakak because tourism economic zone tayo. As the moment ng BPO industry dito sa Dapitan, we have our own call center and we're applying for PEZA as well. And apparently, and I've heard that the president is expediting these approvals because he wants more investment in Mindanao, which is great because the tax break definitely our people are going to come here and invest basta may tax break sila. I believe so as well as the local government of Dapitan. They've already had legislation that anyone that has investment to a certain degree or a certain amount may tax breaks po sila, may tax holidays for 3 years. But now at the moment we should be adapting, like for the mga negosyante dito, I believe that they're doing incentives for us here sa mga tax breaks namin or licenses. Hindi ko pa alam anong plano pa nila, pero nag-suggest na ako sa mga plano because I am the president of the Chamber of Commerce dito sa Dapitan. So I believe so that every lugar has their right, and in the LGU naman can now bring on tax incentives, especially it's subsidized by the national government with the Bayanihan Act natin 1 and 2. I think 3 is getting drafted now eh. So at least there's help from the national government. We're not left alone. Yeah. Naka-mute ka, sir. Mute.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Manny.
Okay, yes. Well, we're running out of time, Editor Alan.
Yes, sir.
A few more minutes, no?
Yeah,
but just the same, sa tingin mo ba, Sir Romel, because it's inevitable, it cannot be stopped. 2022, next year, will be election. So mag-eleksyon na tayo, napag-usapan natin yung maraming bubutante. Marami ding mga Di lang kung kaano kadami ang bobo nga butante, ganun sa kadami ang mga bobo na public officials. Now, we are facing a very deadly
Combination.
pandemia, no? This COVID-19. Then election will really have to take place because that is our constitution mandates, unless there will be a revolutionary government, and we cannot afford to have that, no? But do you think what could be your idea, Sir Romel, kung paano natin? Do we need somebody who should be running local government units na mas may sa tingin ko, somebody who also have the business acumen. Because ang LGU ngayon, iba na ang konsepto. Di ba? When you run people, when you manage government, there should be somehow a business component, not for enriching, amassing wealth, but for effectively running your affairs, no? For that, no? What do you think? Do you think what is your thoughts on this matter? From your experience, ano po ba ang sa tingin mo ang mga kulang na dapat nating gawin, o ano naman ang nakita mo when you were then governor? What are the powers that need to be, improved? Para naman our discussion will just be, we get inputs from both private and the public experience. Sir Romel.
Well, thank you for that question. That's the question I really wanted to answer. For me, I believe dapat talaga there should be a business aspect and a business acumen in our leaders, because of the fact that I believe that we should not be interdependent. There's so much opportunity in the Philippines. We're still raw. It's a blank canvas pa tayo sa Pilipinas eh. And we can actually make industries now for us to sustain our own backyard. Hindi lang lahat should be dependent just on our taxes. We should have our own. That will show the true what do you call, the true gesture ng LGU, or the leader that you have chosen, na inaalagaan ba tayo.
Yeah.
Kung talagang may investment talaga tayo, dapat we should be business minded, because there's so much industries out there. We have the whole world. Bakit kino-contain lang natin sa sa LGU? And it's not the LGU's fault eh. At the end of the day, mga tao din hypocritical sila eh. 'Di ba? Mag-complain sa gobyerno, mag-complain sila sa buhay nila, pero wala naman silang ginagawa nila para i-change ang gobyerno by their vote, by their support, by questioning the
performance
performance. Yeah. They shouldn't be scared. Then all of us as answers naman, we're all accountable naman sa kanila eh, because they're the ones who voted us in. Dapat hindi ginodiyos ang LGU, hindi ginodiyos ang mga leaders natin, because we were the ones who put them in their place. Let them be public servants. Nakalimutan din natin ang meaning ng public servant eh. That's why servant sa atin eh. Tayo ang boss eh. 'Di ba? So dapat, I believe that our leaders now, especially in these days, must be multitasking. Hindi lang siya governance. It should be a business aspect as well. What can you bring in? How can you bring people in? That's why they brought the PPP, public-private partnership. Use it. Gamitin natin siya. Look at the current situation nationally on foreign investors, yung 60-40 natin. Diba? We should, look into that para there's more investors to come here. Pero hindi tayo pwede na ma-exploit. There's so many things that needs to be done. But for my end of things, I rely on my LGU to attract more investors. I rely on them to back me up if I have other clients outside na gusto ko dito. Like example na yung DICT. Great, it's a great incentive of the president representing the IT industry. Pero at the end of the day, lang siya, for me, they're not as involved as they should be. They should start creating jobs outside, hindi lang sa sentro, hindi lang sa mga well-populated areas. They should not put all their eggs in one basket. Mag-distribute sila. You tell us what we need to hear and what we want to hear, diba? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to congest all of the cities there, especially Manila. Naman tayo, dapitan here. May I have a call center. Nangota ng mga tao, bakit dapitan? I said, why not? Anong problema ng dapitan? Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Pero be proud. We have a good country. We have a great country. I lived in Australia half my life. Dinedicate ko na yung the rest of my life dito sa Pilipinas.
Where in Australia, Sir Romel?
I migrated to Sydney and ended up in Adelaide. Adelaide. So
Okay.
yung mga tinuturo ko dito, kusinero ko. By trade, kusinero ako.
okay.
Kita naman sa katawan. Pag matiwala sa mapayat na chef.
So, hi mate. Huh?
Hi, mate. Yes.
Well, anyway, that's a good to know. No, that's why I asked that Editor Alan.
Yeah.
This is, I understand, if my memory serves me correctly, this is my first time that I met Sir Romel personally. Yeah, I was there yung sa awarding. But I realized that sometimes usay maguna-una ako kay after our brief meeting kanina, then yagto mi sa Dapitan Port, pero na-realize na kung kanina si Romel is not really the politician that usually I know. Meaning somebody, from his thoughts. So siguro mo ni mga progressive, batanon pa ni siya sa ato, Editor Alan, no? Kay batanon pa ni siya. But that's why I said, sayang, no, there are, of course, there are people. That's why I asked him on his thoughts. Because we need people who have that kind of experience, no? So kung dugay na rin siya, kay half of his life is in Sydney and in Adelaide. It's a progressive, yung Sydney naman, how, siguro, kung half of his life, mga 15 years ago, kaya mga 30 pa man siguro ni si Sir Romel.
47, sir.
Salamat. So, ang ako pasabot, with that experience, the government in Australia kasi, that's why I cannot, yung statement niya nga, ang mga, in a parliament system kasi, di ba, ang liability, ang public servants are really public servants, no?
Yes.
Dinhi, ang public servants, ang public. So it's not the official, but if you also apply that, I do not know. It will be very hard in the Philippine politics. Hindi sa Philippine politics minsan, di ba? Imo galing parinti usay, di na yun mubutar kay stricto man kay necessary. I mean, I think there should be time mo sa nga ako galing gihangyo nga ang makubid katunga unta sa mga gobernador o mga 80% sa Congress makubid. Kaya mo man sila ang mga dagko kayo o kita. Anyway, that's another debate. Just a few minutes, no? Do you think, Sir Romel, there is a chance for us amidst this COVID pandemic electing? Well, I mean, it may be self-serving on your part because some of your brothers and your relatives and in the politics, but this is Philippine politics. But what I'd like to ask, kasi gipaminaw man ta karon sa Facebook, kay under the technology karon ang advent, no borders. And so what do you think? Do you think we need also young people in government?
Definitely. Because of the fact that my suggestion lang, this is my own personal opinion when it comes to the next election. Look at your LGU. What have they done for the past, even just for the past, how many months how did they deal with COVID? How do they engage when it comes to these trying times? Are they worth it ba? Nilagaan ba kayo? Or binabigyan ba kayo ng ayuda or some sort of relief on what they did? Tinetest ngayon ng LGU ngayon anong support nila Because at the end of the day, wala tayong negosyo because of this disease. So we have to turn to government because government is our structure and our system. Ano bang ginawa ng gobyerno? For me, I'm not being biased. Dapitan is done well. Dapitan is done well comparative to our surrounding municipalities.
Yes.
And we should take an example out of that. My doors are still open. We're not complying. We're complying to the national guidelines. We're not complying to other guidelines except there. So it depends. Pag-isipan nyo, pag-unuhunan ninyo, ano bang ginagawa ng gobyerno? What did they do for you? What did these leaders do for you in these past trying times natin? And anong pang gagawin nila? Question their leaders. What are you gonna do for us in the next 3 years kung maboto kayo ulit? ano, are we going to suffer again? Or are we going to succeed and thrive? Ano bang plano mo? Ano bang plano nila? Because at the end of the day, the LGU is the platform for us to get, for us to have economic stability and even our true governance and how the people are run to keep them safe and to keep them healthy. It's the LGU's decision and it's the LGU's responsibility. So again, everyone has a responsibility of supporting the leader that they want, not the politician, the leader that they want. Don't vote for politics anymore. Vote for leader. Vote for change. You just have one person as a platform that gives that change. No matter who it is, bisag kinsa. Basta look for the person that's going to give you change and not give you the same monotonous things for the rest of your life.
Yes, Sir Romel, thank you for that. During the pandemic, and we're still in a pandemic, do you think it is high time now that we should now try to tell Imperial Manila to give more autonomy to the locals? Kasi lockdown. Ang uban, panti-lockdown na lang ang kulang. So, what do you think? Do you think there is now a need for LGUs or the local autonomy to be in place? Because to me, nakita na to when we are in pandemic, when everybody seems to lock themselves, no?
Well, for me, they should analyze it carefully. The autonomy, I don't believe in autonomy yet. Why? Because we still don't have the discipline for autonomy. I believe that. So you still have to have the Imperialistic Manila to give us those guidelines, and at the same time, how we interpret that. We interpret it because they don't know the current situation on our area. They're just basing it on figures. They don't see what the economic or the impact ng mga tao dito sa lugar natin. So they should look at it. Yes, give us the basic guidelines, then we will adapt based on facts. Ano ba yung sitwasyon ng dapitan? Mababa talaga yung nila. So let's adapt. And let the LG of dapitan give them the information on what we should. And they should back it up as well by their research as well. Kung katugma yung impormasyon, then let's implement that. Not everyone damay lahat, pakwan-pakol. Because some LGUs are doing the right thing and they're doing the right compliance and they're trying their hard for us to be stabilized. Some LGUs are using COVID as a business venture. So I cannot speak for them. But I know there's a lot of LGUs out there that are trying their best because as a whole, para mabalik na ekonomiya, para mabalik na yung health ng mga tao, because magiging burden na naman tayo kung we keep on supporting this kind of bureaucracy when it comes to a crisis. So I believe na it should be mixed. It should be just not one-sided po.
Thanks for that, Governor. President Manny, I think we
lost him.
Hello, President Manny? Hello. President Manny? Nawala siya. Nawala. Yeah. Governor,
Yes, sir.
wala na tayong time, so I'd like to ask your parting statement for our televiewers.
Well, basically, I said what I've said. Thank you for the opportunity to give me this platform.
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be on your program. And yeah, anytime you need to talk, feel free to contact me anytime. Walang problema. And just be vigilant on the COVID. And there you are. Hello, Sir Manny.
So naputol ko. Somebody called up using my phone. Sir Editor Alan, gawas siguro naputol.
Nag-ano na ako, humingi na ako ng parting statement kay Gov because we have no more time. You can... Hello? Wala na naman. Nausa na ba eh?
Nag-pro.
Ha? Si Kwan, Mane. Naputol. Oh.
Frozen po. Frozen.
Okay. Yeah. So, yung parting statement nyo lang po para...
Lan?
Oh,
Yun.
Yeah.
Oh. So muning gusto ni President Duterte nga pamatyon na lang ni Tagias provider kay hinay pa mangyapon. At anyway, thank you. Kaganina man god na cut ko. But I'd like to pasalamat gyapon ta kang Sir Romel
Yes.
for the time kasi
okay.
niabot na sab si Sir si kanhi kongresista Romy Jalosjos ni Nonong. Ni Agi din mutong naputol siguro ang kwan. Anyway, nagpasalamat ta kay Sir Romel for his thoughts, his personal opinion on how we live amidst this pandemic.
Yes.
O sa atong kauban diya sa Cagayan de Oro, si Editor Alan. O pasalamat sa to sa Jaw TV, Digital TV on the air ta diya sa Cagayan de Oro. Sir Romel, thank you for the time and we hope to have more engagement. Dini sa atong tulumanon Kalandrakas. Every Monday, 1 o'clock to 2 in the afternoon sa Mindanao Daily News Digital, sa Jaw TV 51, sa Parasat Cable o sa Jade Cable, sa DRBC sa Bukidnon, magkakakita kita o sa Facebook Live o sa YouTube.
Net 25, air covered.
Sa Net 25 also, see with us. Uban na to din ni Editor Alan, si GC Mongcal sa Southeast Journal, si Richard de la Cruz sa Net 25 Eagle Broadcasting. Magpasalamat ta again. Thank you for the time, Sir Romel. O until next Monday. Samantala ang among tulumanon.
Kalandrakas.
Kalandrakas.
Sir Alan. Thank you po.
Mindanao, baby.